and a volunteer architect to come up with a vision for how this property could be renovated, and gotten some cost estimates. And the bottom line figure, just to save us the time, is $1.5 million to bring this facility back, into the 21st century and make it a really shiny new facility. So we've done over 2 years worth of research, gathering quotes and estimates, looking at different approaches we could take, like grants, sponsorships, doing minor repairs, putting Band-Aids on it for as long as we can, and we've done that. But we believe that there are only 2 viable options at this point for sustaining the property really long term. And essentially it boils down to a value proposition for our neighborhood. Do the residents believe that it's worth paying a monthly fee to renovate the facility and bring it into the 21st century? Or does the neighborhood believe that something else needs to happen? So to outline briefly the 2 different options. The first option that you'll see on your feedback form, the first question is asked is, are you in favor of forming an urban service district to sustain the facility? This is a district, it's a special unit of government, it's outlined in state law. I encourage you to look it up, it's not something we invented. But it does give neighborhoods the option, the possibility to form a special district where every household contributes a monthly fee, and that fee can go to paying off a bond. So basically it would allow us to take out a mortgage on the Indian Hills Community Club, get money up front, $1.5 million, to renovate the facility, and then have approximately $100,000 a year for maintenance and operations, including lifeguards and pool chemicals and so forth. So the cost of that per the bond bank that we met with would be $20 a month for 16 years, and would give us that $1.5 million for renovations and $100,000 a year for operations and maintenance. The value proposition to the neighborhood, because anytime you ask anybody for money, you gotta have something that you're gonna get in return, right? Is that households inside the urban service district would have year-round access to repaired and maintained lakes and levees, upgraded athletic courts with tennis, pickleball, and basketball, and then summer access to a completely renovated pool with a splash area for babies and toddlers in the shallow end, new slides, new diving boards, and new lounge furniture, and updated bathrooms. And for folks who may not have children who live with you anymore, but you might have grandchildren that live outside of the urban service district, it would include up to 4 grandchildren who live outside your home, who live outside the district, would automatically be members of the pool and could have access to it. And it's also a selling point for the neighborhood. It would be an attractive feature for people looking to buy homes or rent homes in Indian Hills. It would make us stand out and make us be able to compete with similar neighborhoods in North Little Rock and Sherwood who have these amenities. So how does an urban service district get established? It goes by petition to City Council. And valid petitions have to have at least 25% of the registered voters inside the district sign the petition. Why 25%? A lot of people I've spoken to have said, well, that's undemocratic. That's not half the people. Well, I can't speak for the state legislators that put this into place, but my sense is that they recognize that you're never going to get to talk to every single person in the neighborhood. So if you get to talk to, say, half of them, and half of those people that you speak to want it, that's 25%. So I think it's just a recognition of the reality that you're not going to be able to reach everyone with this petition, however hard you might try. So how is the fee collected in other urban service districts that exist in North Little Rock and Little Rock, such as Heritage Park on a cane? The fee is collected on the Central Arkansas water bill. And how is it enforced? The state law clearly says that water utilities and other utilities that collect this fee have the ability to terminate service if it's not paid. So that's the only enforcement mechanism that exists. And that would give the bond company the assurance that yes, this will be paid. It would allow you to take out a loan on that. Would households outside the urban service district be allowed to buy memberships? And how would you handle an increase in attendance? Those are 2 questions I got. that is up for discussion. You know, if this was an initiative that the neighborhood wanted to pursue, I would hope that everybody involved would have a voice and a say and an opinion about how the business of the pool is handled and how any potential increases or people from outside wanting to join would be handled. I think right now we just need to focus on yes or no. Do we go this route or not? And we will work out the details. Those are all things that we can work out at that point. City donation, option 2. The Indian Hills Community Club could ask the city to accept the property as a donation. It is not guaranteed. The city council would have to vote on whether or not to accept that donation. Could the city maintain the pool? Well, they could, but from the conversations I've had, the will is not there to maintain the pool because the city has 2 city pools already and is not looking to renovate and staff and maintain a third. So what I've been told is, at a minimum, the property, if it were city-owned, would be lit and mowed. Beyond that, there are no guarantees. So it really would be up to the citizens to call up your alderman, call up the mayor and say, this is what we want done with the property. If it gets donated to the city, it's really out of our hands, and we can only advocate. So what will they do with the property? No guarantees. Will it be sold? Will it be filled in? Will it be maintained? We don't know. We can only advocate. So next steps would be that we want to hear from you tonight and through your feedback forms. All the feedback that you provide on your forms will be compiled and shared. We will not share your names, but we will share the feedback. And ultimately, the decision to pursue an urban service district would not be made solely by the Indian Hills Community Club and not be pursued by just the club, the board of directors, or even the current members. It would have to be a neighborhood initiative. So there would be many, many volunteers necessary to circulate the petition and knock on doors and make this happen. So it's not going to be an overnight thing or anything that's done under the table or without people knowing about it. This would be volunteers trying to touch and talk to every single resident here and present them with a petition that they can choose to sign or not sign. So, regarding the